Hello, race fans. This is Larry Supermouth Huffman, AMA Hall of Fame announcer, and this isn't Supercross. It's Wednesday! And you're watching Bay Fishing with Roman and Brian. Stand by while the boys teach secrets of bay bass fishing with Roman on his 6-second nitro-burning pedal drive kayak, and Brian in his Cool Baits high-speed dragster boat that he takes out every Sunday! Be there!
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. What's up, Brian? How you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you, Roman?
Good. Little round of applause from our live studio audience coming in.
Thank you. That was for me. Thank you.
What's up, everybody? I see a bunch of new faces in the chat. Welcome to the show. Please do me a favor and hit subscribe. If you see somebody type in "bit" in all caps, that means that they like the video or like the stream, and then they come into the chat and type in "bit" as a way to let us know that they like the video. So if you could please do that, that'd be awesome. Also, if it's your first time here and you don't want to miss out on future episodes, do subscribe to the channel. We're currently at about 384 subscribers. So let's make it happen.
So close to 400. Let's do this.
Let's do this. Shout outs real quick. Doug in the house. Doug Rubin in the house. El Sueño in the house. He was first one in. Leonard, what up, Leonard? Fishy down there. Welcome to the show. I see Zach Griggs in the house. I see Brian likes to fish. I see Muto Submission Fishing Co. in the house. What up, Muto? Welcome back. Salty Dangler in the house. Bit. Results day. Zach's got a cool story. So this weekend I took my pop out fishing for the first time in about 20 years. With the techniques I've learned from y'all, I was able to get him on 7 spotties.
What?
Had
nice,
a great
Zach.
time. Thanks, everybody. That's very
Awesome,
cool.
Zach.
Nice,
That's
dude.
Cool.
Did the process of teaching others help ingrain your understanding of the techniques? Ask Salty. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Let's see what he says. Yes, I was actually pleasantly surprised by how much I've learned and was able to share. Oh, nice, dude.
Wow, Zach. Hey,
Very
you're almost
cool.
a master now, Zach. You're teaching people.
I think I'm ready for my novice patch. Zach, that's awesome. What up, Eric in the house? Cast Queen in the house. Welcome to the show. Fatty
Wait,
Fishing.
hold the chat.
Yep.
Do I see Jet in there?
Yeah,
What?
Jet was in here yesterday too. Welcome back, Jet. 2 days in a
what's
row.
up,
Woo!
Jet?
We're
Where
on
you
a streak,
been?
dude.
Right on.
So Fatty Fishing, welcome to the show. Let's see who else. Dario, what's up? Dang. Diaper duties. He's taking a break from diaper duty. You deserve it,
Wait,
bro.
Jet is?
No, Dario.
Oh, I'm
Dario.
Sorry, Dario. Sorry, Jet.
I'm making stuff up. Aaron's back. What up, Aaron? What up, Roger? Welcome to the show. Very cool, very cool. Okay, Mark, Dario. Okay, thank you. Mark G, what's up? Mark G says, what's up? Did you know it was me on the freeway? Oh, Mark G is asking Dario if he knew it was him on the freeway. Okay, cool. All right, let's get the show rolling.
What's up? Aaron's in there. Hey, Aaron, nice job yesterday, by the way. Good job. Let's get the show rolling. Okay, so if you're new to this show, which it looks like we have some new people in there, Roman, this is, if you're a bay fisherman or you're trying to learn bay fishing, this is the place to be. Where this is Roman. I'm Brian. Brian likes to fish on Instagram. I've been fishing the bay my entire adult life, basically, and sponsored by Cool Baits. And I'm the co-host of Fishy Hour. And on this show, Roman and I are trying to make you guys into bay fishing masters.
Oh, dang.
I'm going to take that title. That's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to make people into bay fishing masters.
The most okayest bay fisherman.
Right.
Cool.
Right, so all questions, submit those in chat at any time of the show. Roman's looking at the chat. A lot of time I'm talking a lot. He'll stop me and ask me a question. I love questions, so answer questions. Fire away.
Eric wants to know why you're wearing a hickey hider.
Oh my gosh, my double chin is coming in. No, thank you for mentioning that, Eric. Okay, the reason I'm showing this. Okay, so this weekend, guys, I looked at the UV index, and it's supposed to be like a 9 or 10.
Wow.
Which is crazy, dude. And I see my dermatologist every year, and he's like, Brian, you got to start covering up. You got to start covering up. So I wanted to give everybody a reminder, if you don't own one of these, you could put on all the sunscreen you want, right, Roman? You could cake it on, but it's still the best protection, I think, is sunscreen plus a buff. So while you're on the water, guys, get this going. You want to have a hat. You want to be covered up so you don't see any skin, and you're going to want a good one pair of these. I know Salty Dangler, I saw him on the water. I'm like, dude, where is your sunglasses? And he lost them in the water. So Salty, I hope you went and got a new pair. But guys, this weekend it's going to be UV index is super high. Get a buff, get some sunglasses, get a hat, or your dermatologist is going to be yelling at you. And you're going to regret it later. So that's why I'm wearing that, just to promote that. And I'm going to take it off because it's super hot.
Very cool. Very cool. Yes, we have some more announcements too. Just a quick reminder that we are still. Do we have anybody here that from in CCA? Is Captain Dan on here, or maybe Arnie? Hey, what's up, Andre? Welcome back to the show. I'm seeing trying to acknowledge all the new names that aren't the regulars.
Arnie?
Andre.
Real
Andre.
Dreamer's in there. What's up, Real Dreamer?
He is? Oh yeah, he is. What up, Real Dreamer? What up? Yeah, guys. If you guys haven't been shouted out, say something in the chat. Say what's up, or like, hey guys, or bit all caps if you like the video. And then so we have the CCA California San Diego chapter banquet going on the, what's it, Brian?
It's coming up on June 12th. That's 2 weekends from now, basically, I think.
We for sure have one table booked, so that's like 10 MMFC members. And then we have, I think we're working on a second table. No pressure. If you guys want to come out, it's going to be fun. It's going to be from 5 to 9 p.m.
Yep. at the Portuguese Hall, which is right by the Shelter Island launch. Like you drive past it when you're going to the Shelter Island launch ramp. It's right there on the right. It's an outdoor dining event.
Yeah, exactly. Outdoor dining. You get your food, you get your 2 drinks, you get your renew your CCA membership for the year, and you get to hang out with the group, hang out with the gang. Yeah. We're all gonna be rocking our MMFC shirts. If you're a DFA, you can wear your DFA shirt.
Absolutely.
Bam.
There it is.
Oh wait, it's over here.
Yeah, it'll be the first time that I guess since COVID, the MMFC is gonna kind of get a hangout and chat. You know.
Sorry, I was
showing
off my shirt.
Be there. I know a lot of we already have a full table, so we're gonna rotate tables and we're all gonna chat, have a good night.
Dario signed up for CCA. What up, Dario? Nice, dude. Very cool. Oh, you are going. You're going to the stream. You're going to the banquet. What is a link? What is a link to the dinner? Ooh, that's a good one. It is. Let's see.
CCA webpage, basically.
A CCA website, and then go click on the one that says. Who else is going to be at the second table? We're not sure who's going to be at the second table. We can swap around though too, like midway, so everybody can talk to each other.
Maybe we can pull those 2 tables nice and close, so we have a big giant table.
And we'll heckle.
Dan? No, I'm just kidding, Dan.
No, not Dan. That's so funny. All right, cool. All right. Anything else as far as announcements that we talked about? I forgot already.
I think that's it as far as announcements goes. Let's start the show off. We kind of skipped by it, but let's start it off with our pop top.
Okay, pop top. Here we go.
Remember, I'm in Ramona.
Pop top on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being the best pop top you ever heard. 1 being the worst. Rate this pop top.
Here we go. Seltzer water coming in.
Dang. Zach says throw rolls at the other table. Throw rolls at the other tables.
I don't food fight really.
Be like, MMFC's not invited anymore.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the boot. I heard Roman. Did I hear you say you're bringing your skates?
Oh no, are you bringing your skates? Oh yeah. It's if we go to if we go to Ventura, I'm bringing my skates.
Okay, all right. I thought you said the CCA was going to be a skate party afterwards. So
solid 8 for my untrained ears. Very nice. Okay, Castro give you 9. Luke gave you what up, Luke? Welcome. I see. Okay. Good scores. Pretty good scores. How to sign up?
Doug wants to know how to sign up.
So you go to the link that I just put up, ccacalifornia.org. Hang on a second, guys. Let me see if I can show the screen.
I think it's right on the homepage too. Like it comes right up.
It's the second one, I think. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen real quick. I'm gonna do my pop top, then we'll share my screen and we'll do that section. Okay, guys. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best pop top you ever heard, 1 being the worst, rate this pop top. But let me take off this stuff. There we go.
Whoa. That was Fast and Furious.
It's all over my mouse. No.
You always say it's nice having Jet back because isn't he like the original guy that kind of started MMFC, the name, like the brainstorming night? Wasn't it kind of?
No. He
is he a kind of an OG to it?
He's an OG to it. He was the one who suggested I draw a Mac.
All right. Well, that got it kind of started. So nice to have you back, Jet.
There you go. Okay, cool. There we go. All right. A 2. Oh, dang.
Wow.
A 7.8, a 9.4, a 7, 8.5, a 9, a 8.
Cast Queen is rough.
Good. All right, cool. Extra for the splash. There we go. Okay. My mouse is not ruined. Everything is fine. Oh, yeah, by the way, I got a solo win today before the show. That means
What's that mean?
In Warzone Battle Royale,
oh, God,
me against 150 players. Guess who came out on top? This guy. Yeah.
Now, did you hide in the map?
No, I got like 11 kills.
Oh, wow. Is that good?
Yeah, that's good.
That sounds good.
I was running around trying to find as many people as I could, and as soon as I could find them, I'd gun them down. It's crazy. It's a video game, fellas. We're talking about a video game. Okay. Maybe I should be talking about this. It's kind of crazy.
No way, it's interesting to me.
All right, let's move it on. Move it along.
Okay, so I'm going to give basically break down what the show is going to be tonight. Tonight is awesome. We've been having a lot of results shows lately. So tonight, Roman and I are going to get to talk about bait fishing, which is what this show is supposed to be about. So we're back on talking about fishing.
All right, cool. And then so Arnie's in here. Arnie, can you tell us how many people are on our second table? Because that way we know how many more we need to fill out the second table if we can.
Yeah,
take over that
20,
place.
20 people. That'd be a big group of MMCers. All right, and DFAers. So tonight's show, basically, we've got 3 segments we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about where to position yourself for the best chance to catch a fish, and I'm talking about on the water. Shore, Aaron, if you can help me out with those questions. If anybody has a shore pounding question, Aaron or Salty, I know you could probably field those better than me, but this is where to position yourself on the water to give yourself the best, highest percentage to catch a fish. Next thing, we're going to talk about 3 types of fishing. We're going to talk about finesse, vertical, and power fishing. What are those? You've probably heard those terms. Every once in a while, me and Roman break down vocabulary words. And if you're new to fishing, you're probably like, what's finesse? What's vertical? What's power? Well, guess what? We're going to tell you what those 3 fishing styles are and how to fish them and what time of the year to fish them. So we're going to talk about that. And tonight, I'm going to open up. Aaron, you motivated me yesterday opening up your tackle box, kind of showing everything off of what you use. You got specific with brand names and everything. I'm going to do the same. I'm sitting on my tackle box. I'm going to open this big hatch. I'm going to show you every piece of gear I fish with. Any questions that I want to be a big Q&A because I'm going to have my tackle box open. I'm going to be showing off my boxes, showing what I use, showing what I've been using during all the tournaments. And hopefully this will help you guys make a selection next time you're in the tackle shop.
Perfect. All right. Before we jump into the first of the 3 topics, let's go into share the screen real quick. What is it? Share screen. No.
When is this event, Fatty Fishing? It is June 12th.
It's on the screen.
This month.
June 12th from 5 to 9 p.m. And if you want to get to this place, you go to the CCA website, ccacalifornia.org. Scroll down, you look for San Diego Chapter Banquet. Boom. And that brings this up. You click on that. It brings it to the shopping cart. And you select this guy. It's $75. You get all that good stuff and you get to be at the banquet. And you get your renewal to the CCA organization is usually about $35. So you're getting your money's worth. And then from there, you go to your cart. You say in here, you type in MMFC, so you know you're with us, and we can all sit together. We have 5 spots left in the second table. That's crazy.
Wow,
very cool.
We could possibly fill up 2 tables.
Cool. So yeah, So yeah, guys, that's where it's at. That's what we're That's what that's about. Let's see. I guess I'll get care of that one. And go rock the shirt. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Say, who are these guys?
Very cool. All right. The shirts are available at shop.romancastro.com. It'll bring it to the main page where you'll be able to see the shirt here. There's 2 variations of it, and you can get a different color if you want. There's a white version of it and a navy version of it. Midnight navy. Cool. All right. Going back to you. There we go. Okay, let's do it.
Okay, guys, like I said, any questions during any of this, please put them in there. Roman will answer them for me. So basically, we're going to start out with talking. I'm the guy with percentage. You know that, Roman. I try to do every little percent, everything I can do to add up to getting fish, between leader line, where I want to be, tides. I want to know where I think it's going to give me the best odds to catch a fish. And there's different spots in the bay that work at different times of the day and also at different tide periods. And we're going to start talking about those. So if you're brand new, I always start at the foundation. You know that, Roman. I'm assuming this is your very first show. So me and Roman have talked like this for crazy. It's a tide chart, basically showing high tide and low tide. And this is a tide swing, this being low tide. And this swing right here, this is when the tide is leaving the bay. So water, just think of the bay as like a big bathtub. When the water's leaving the bay, all that water is lowering and going out of the bay, out of that jetty, out. I'm talking about Mission Bay too. I'm talking about Mission Bay tonight. Out of the bay, and the water is rushing out. The bigger the tide swing, the more water has got to rush out. So you'll have things like 3-foot tide swings, 6-foot tide swings, 2-foot tide swings, and you can look all this up online. So if you're brand new, just Google Mission Bay tides or San Diego Bay tides, and you can see this tide swing, what it's going to be for the day. It'll give you the height it's going to swing, and it's going to give you the time it's going to do that. And this right here, this tide swing, that's your best chance to catch a fish when the water is moving. And we're going to explain that why. So any questions about this, let me know. Tide swing, look it up.
Away from them to come through. Doug, if you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask. And I think it's going to be outdoors. So it's up to you how you feel about not wearing a mask. I think I'm fully vaccinated. I'll probably have a mask with me in case anybody gives me any shenanigans about going into a building without a mask. So I'll have my mask available to me. But I probably won't be wearing it most of the time. Just
guys,
because.
And if you want to wear a mask, wear a mask.
Yeah.
You won't. I mean, some guys won't. Some guys will. If you feel comfortable with a mask, wear it.
I'm bringing both, Doug. I'm bringing my mask and my vaccine card.
You know what? I always judge it kind of when I get there. If I see it's kind of spread out, people are moved out a little bit. But if we're tight quarters, I might wear my mask all the time. If not, just use your common sense, guys.
Yep.
I'm sure CCA is probably not requiring it. I'm not sure on that. I'm just guessing. But if you feel comfortable with it, bring it.
There you go.
Wear a mask all the time when I'm fishing, all day.
Yeah, right. Cool.
Great.
All right.
Then I don't have to show off my ugly mug either. So, all right. So let's start with high tide, Roman. High tide would be when the tide is at its peak right here, and there's a high slack tide and there's a low slack tide. And let's talk about high tide. Where is the best place to fish during high tide? So if you think about the bay, high tide. Let's start with low tide too. At low tide, the bay is totally emptied out, and those shorelines, when you look at them, there's grass on the beach. The water's really low. You can tell that it's low tide. The rocks are really exposed. You're going to see areas that you don't see during high tide. So when that tide rises up, a lot of those fish are opportunistic, and they'll go into those beach areas. They'll go into those rock areas. They'll explore closer to shore. So one of the spots I recommend during an extreme high tide or high tide when you get there is search those areas that were covered up during the low tide period. It takes a long time for it to fill up to that. But once you get to that high tide period, the slack high tide, go fish those rocks, because there's fish that live in those rocks, and the spotties know that. They will go over there and try to pick off those little fish that are living in those rocks. And some of that grass that was exposed during low tide that is now covered during high tide, they're scavengers. They're going to go in there. Those clams have came to the surface. Whatever they're searching for has came to that surface. And now that's high tide. Those things that were during low tide that were hiding down, they have came up now because they've got to eat too. So they're filtering, they're doing whatever. So the spotties will go into those. So those are the two places that I would normally try during a really high tide, is areas that they don't get to a lot. I think those are two good areas. Is that similar for you, Roman, on those spots?
Yeah. Like when I go out, dude, I don't even check. I just go out and I'm happy to be on the way. And then when I get there, I'm like, oh, it's low tide. Oh, it's high tide. And then I kind of just, my high tide and low tide.
Let's say you get there at high tide. Do you have your favorite spots?
It means I have to put my kayak down further down the ramp. It means I can launch right at the top. It's kind of nice. Not where it's all slimy and slippery. Other than that, my consideration is, okay, if it's low tide, if it's more for like a drifting than anything else. So like if it's low, I know the water's going to be coming in the bay soon, right?
Right.
So if it's like at slack or getting close to slack, then I'll make my way so that whenever the tide turns, it'll bring me back to where I was.
So you're positioning it on how the tide is going to set up your
my
drift.
drifts, yeah.
It's a little different for me because I use spot lock a lot. But let's say same scenario. I show up, it's low tide, and I don't want to fish those shorelines. I'll go and try to find drop-offs. I'll go try to find deeper spots. Low tide is a good time to go out in deeper water, hit those pylons, areas where the fish are not going to be on the shore on low tide. They're going to be in the deeper water. They're going to be in their hiding spots. They're going to be on the bottom of those pylons on the bridges. So those are some of the percentages I think, okay, why waste my time on the shore when the percentage is pretty low at low tide that I'm going to get there. So I'll go to deeper waters and I'll try to find those drop-offs with my fish finder.
Okay, that makes sense. So another thing in that same scenario, at low tide, right? And you can see the eelgrass is out of the water already. Well, Sometimes that's not the end of the eelgrass. That's just the edge of it, right? There's another edge of that eelgrass that's deeper, that's actually in the water still. And whatever spotties are fixated on sticking to that grass pile, they're all going to be on that side of the grass. Like you don't have to search the whole grass. You don't have to search the front and the back anymore. You just search the back. And if you can get either like parallel to it and just cast parallel to that eel patch, that's the eel grass, but from the deeper side, right, from the back side, there should be more concentration of the fish that live there, the ones that didn't go deep, right? Because they're waiting for the water to come up.
But for me, the percentages is higher during low tide going to the little deeper water. Because, so not saying that there won't be fish there. Sometimes there's fish. You just get lucky and there's fish there. But for me, the percentage is the highest in the deeper water during low tide. I think they just hunker down.
Jesse has a question. He says, do the fish usually just go out deeper during low tide, then go back during high tide, or do they migrate differently?
Well, Jesse, that's a question we all wish we totally had 100% answer to. My experience, though, is when the tide is rising up and the water is flowing through, that is creating the bottom to make all that movement. Let's just say it's going from low to high. That water's rushing in, and just think it's coming up on the shorelines, and when that water's rushing through the shore, it's creating an opportunity for those scavengers to find something. So it's coming up the shoreline, and one of their number one diets is those little clams. And when it's coming up that shoreline, it's exposing more and more and more. And maybe those clams were subterranean now, and maybe they're going to feed. So I think, personally, from my experience, that when that tide is raising up, they move to the shorelines out from the deep.
Interesting. I'll want to try fishing like that.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, summertime, especially in the late summer, you could pretty much just throw a line anywhere you want and you're gonna get spotty because they're just ravenous. Yeah. They're biting everything. It's like spawning season for them, and they're just looking for anything to eat. They want to fatten up. They're getting ready for that winter. So summertime, throw a line in the water and you probably anywhere catch one. But if you're looking at raising your percentages to get more and more and more and more fish, and maybe bigger and bigger fish, start thinking about these things. When you show up, hey, and a lot of the time people will show up at slack tide and fish for an hour, and they're like, this is terrible. I'm not catching anything. And me and Roman always say, wait an hour, and when that tide changes either direction, that's when the bite may come on. And you guys that have been fishing the tournament know, you've heard these guys talking about it. When it's on, it's on. All of a sudden, you'll be fishing 5 hours, catch one fish, you'll be frustrated, and then next thing you know, that last golden hour, you're gonna pull in your 4 big fish at the very end, back to back to back to back. So you gotta be ready for it when that does happen. And I'm talking about these percentages, but I honestly think the highest percentage to catch a spotty is to just keep moving. If you're a shore pounder on a kayak, a boat, skiff, float tube, whatever you're on, never stay in the same spot too long, unless it's really producing. Keep moving. Move. If you're fishing the docks, move pylon to pylon, slip to slip. Don't stick with one slip catching for no fish for 10 minutes there. I would say 3 casts in a slip, and if you're not getting a nibble, move to the next one. Move to the next one. Don't stay in one spot. Okay, so one thing I'm going to recommend is if you're having a huge tide swing, just think of that bay. That bay is huge. Mission Bay, San Diego Bay, both. At the jetty and those first couple bridges, when that whole bay is letting out, if you set your kayak under one of those bridges during a big tide swing, that water is rushing through those narrow bridge areas so fast that not much kayak experience, but it is hard to go against the grain on that, Roman, right?
Yeah. Like
the tide is like a river coming, especially through that first bridge. So if I was a fish, I'm not going to position myself in one of those narrow outlets or inlets, whichever way the tide's coming, because it's too much work. If you're sitting at that bridge, unless you're right behind that pylon, that fish is constantly wasting energy to try to hold its position. They don't like to just float around. They might migrate, but basically they're holding their ground and they're looking for something to come by, and they're not going to be sitting in those narrow channels during those tide swings. It's too much work. So when you have a tide swing like that, you might want to skip those narrow bridge channels or anything narrow in the bay and maybe go out to the wider areas like Sail Bay, over by SeaWorld, Fiesta Island area, right in front of Dana Landing, Paradise Point, those big wide areas that are just basically raising up and lowering. They don't have that rushing water go through. So percentage-wise, watch out for those channels during a huge tide swing. They're just too much water coming in and out.
Very cool. So Eric's got a question for me. He says, Roman, when did you when you started your spotty fishing life, where did you get your information back then? Back like 2-3 years ago. For me, it started right here on the show. Well, that's cool, Eric. So like a lot of it was trial and error, just getting frustrated, running around trying to like catch stuff. I started making videos about it, and then I was able to meet like Rodney Marquez and ask him a couple questions, watch some of his videos as well. I had a couple of friends who were also trying to learn spotty fishing. I don't fish with them now because they kind of moved away. But one of them mentioned a book called Fish Have No Hands, so that was a big help. Also, we used to text back and forth with damn, I'm spacing on his name, dude.
Day One Fishing?
No, Warbaits.
Oh, Afrin?
Afrin, yeah. We used to text back and forth with Afrin. I met him like at Del Mar back before, like, I think it was like the last Del Mar there was, or the second to the last Del Mar there was, like a couple years ago, 2 years ago. And then like I would give him advice on like YouTube stuff. Like I was like, dude, you gotta talk in your videos. He's like, eh. And I think I was one of the main drivers to like get him to talk in his videos more. So he started talking in his videos, and he would answer my fishing questions. Like, hey, dude, like I'd be like, hey, I'm trying to fish this, trying to fish that. What do you think? Should I throw it on? So he was a big help. And then he also got me like a demo on a Hobie and kind of hooked me there too. So that was kind of fun. And then I think for the most part, him and I think day one started after I started. Day one started after I started. He started watching my videos too, and well, not just my videos, but he started watching videos and he started fishing too. Yeah, and I used to watch Bears too, but then I just couldn't watch him anymore because like he cusses a lot, and like I like to watch those videos with my kids sometimes, and like I didn't want to have to explain to them what those words meant out of nowhere, right? So, and that was also one of my main motivations for like not cussing on my channel. Was like, hey, if you want to watch our stuff, you can watch it with your kids in the background, and you don't have to worry about us throwing a crazy word out there that you don't want them to learn yet. So, anyway, long answer, but that's the answer. I hope that satisfies the answer. The question.
My journey was different. It was for me. It was a 20-year grind. I've been fishing like it's really been an obsession for me for at least 15 years, but 20 years ago about started it. And I've gone from fishing from shore to fishing from a skiff forever to upgrading boat, little bit better boats, and just a grind, time on the water, learning things, listening to people, figuring out what works. And you know what? I've learned more in the last, like I said this before, the last year and a half from all you guys than I have in the prior 19 years before that. So this community is great. We're all learning together. And this chat, guys, if you're new, this chat is full of slayers. These guys all know how to catch spotties now.
It's crazy how
the group is strong. The group is strong.
Yeah, it's crazy how it does accelerate the learning for you guys. I think even doing our own little internal what's it called, like Kidcaster tournaments. You know, even when we're doing that kind of stuff, you're still learning something. You're still learning how to measure your fish. You're learning how to manage your time a little bit, how to take the picture of the fish. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, learning different setups, seeing what everybody's doing, learning rods, learning reels, learning lines, learning it all.
Yep.
Like, hopefully we're talking about all. Some of it to some of you guys, I know they've been watching it for like a year and a half. Some of this may be a little repetitive that we talk about, but we always have new people coming in, and we want to start with a good foundation. And all this stuff brings up discussions, just like it is now.
It's very true. And like I know Fatty Fishing. I haven't seen you here that often, but if you're very welcome to hang out with us and fish with us. Like the way I like to run the chat here and like all my stuff really is like in a super positive way, and like no question is too dumb. Like you can't ask a dumb question. Someone's not gonna beat up on you over like a new question, even though it looks like you're pretty experienced by the fish you're catching. So yeah, it's all about being positive and helpful towards each other. Because I know Salty repeated this to me earlier because I probably harp on it a lot, but like in you explaining a technique to a newer person, you're reinforcing that skill or that technique or that knowledge in your own mind. So that's kind of why we encourage it too. Luke Gallagher in the house is a question. He says, Brian, What are your favorite swim baits or trailers to put on a cool baits underspin?
Oh, Luke, we're gonna get into that heavily.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
gonna open up this tackle box, and I'm gonna not only gonna talk about it, but I'm gonna show you. So I'll
Boom,
get
show
to
and
that
tell.
question
Stay
right
tuned,
after
boys.
this. Yeah, show
And
and tell.
ladies
Stay
and
tuned.
gents.
So I'm gonna end out the positioning on this. Okay, so
Spotties. Sorry.
there's
Sorry.
one
Fatty
huge
Fishing said,
factor.
whose bite is better, Spotties, Sand Bass, or Calicos?
Oh, spotty,
Yeah,
for
dude.
sure. Like if equal size.
Equal size,
If
yeah.
you have a 2 pound, if you have a 2 pound spotty and a 2 pound sand bass, 2 pound spotty's gonna,
Yeah.
it's gonna, they'll make that sand bass look like a jerk. Same with like largemouth. There's nothing that competes in the 2 pound range with a spotty, in my opinion.
All right. Sorry to keep interrupting. Keep going. This is good.
Okay, so slack tide. Slack tide is when the tide is not coming in, it's not going out. Slack tide. We talked a little bit about this. Where's a good place to go in slack tide? Where I like to go is I think these fish during slack tide, they have hunkered down to wherever they basically live. And a lot of them will live by pylons. A lot of them will live in the docks. A lot of them will live in a little drop off. But for me, slack tide, especially if it's not catching it in the grass, because grass is my always go-to, I will go to the docks. And like, let's just take Mission Bay for, you got only a certain limited amount of docks there. And everybody knows Quivering Basin. Everybody knows Dana Landing. There's a couple others by Sail Bay. Go to those docks during slack tide. If you're not getting bit, I think those fish are just sitting there. They're just sitting there in the shade. Same thing we would do if it's
but would a fish that lives like over by bowling pin
yes.
go to the docks?
No. They have their own little territory.
Like I wonder what that range is. You know?
But I'm gonna say this about that though. I think during wintertime, those large guys are out in the bay in the shallower areas looking for that warmer water because they're more comfortable. Now
cool.
that it's spawning season and they're looking for a little love and they're a little more aggressive, I think they have gone to congregate in the deeper waters and maybe a little more protected structure and maybe spots for those eggs. And then I'm not going to tell exactly where they're at because spotty bull's still going on, but they're conglomerating like a nightclub. Let's put it that way.
That's awesome.
Big guys are conglomerating. They're having their spawn. They're going where their eggs are safe. And once that season's over, they're going to go back to wherever they go in the bay. They're going to go hang out in the grass. They're going to go in their little farm and hang out. But right now, I think they're conglomerating. If you can find out where they're at, you're going to find a lot of them. A lot of the guys have figured out where the big guys are hanging out, and they're hanging out together. And that is a summertime thing. So with that being said, guys, once this shifts gears, don't put all your eggs in one basket and learn one lure and stick to that one lure and think that's going to work year round, because one lure might be working awesome.
Ned rig works all year round.
I'm sorry, yeah. Ned rig. Besides the Ned rig and the cool bait, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't get good at one lure, like work all summer on one thing and oh my God, it's awesome. And then here comes winter. That thing's not catching. You haven't been practicing. You haven't got your techniques down. You have to adapt with the seasons. You have to adapt with the water temperature because they're in different spots and they're biting different things. Yeah, A-rig liner, that's pretty much a year-rounder too. But,
yeah. Eric is sharing an embarrassing moment. Let's embarrass him. I was kidding. Eric says, pretty embarrassed by this. Talked to Aaron on the skiff about tying a leader. I had a hard time to do it with my fingers, so I couldn't use one. So Aaron tied one on for me first time I ever. Wait, so Eric, you've never fished a leader?
Wow, Eric, have you been fishing straight braid? So Eric, a good. The advanced one Roman ties might be a hard one to start with. He ties the
FT. Just do uni or something. Yeah.
You do uni, Albright. There's a bunch of them. The uni and the Albright are probably the easiest two. Best way to learn those is go on YouTube and watch somebody with a.
He said never. Tutorial. Wow, dude.
Wow, Eric, I'm amazed.
Straight braid, baby. I know.
You know what? That blows my mind because he made the playoffs only using straight braid. Eric, if you go to a leader, you may be surprised.
Slaying.
Straight braid sometimes it can be a disadvantage too when you're fishing structure and that braid just touches some of those pylons or touches a rock or something. It can snap off easy. It's not as abrasive as the fluorocarbon or mono or whatever you're going to use. So there was a day I used to fish straight braid all the time, and then I figured out the percentages might be a little higher if I start tying a leader, so I went on to that. But yeah, Albright knot, school knot. I think it's easy to learn.
Eric, you teach your daughter to tie some. You need to teach your daughter to tie the FG knot, and then she could do all your pre-ties, like on all your leaders on your rods before you go the day before.
I know
that's like a punishment. That's good.
I've got like big monkey hands too that just don't cooperate very much. As all those years of like manual labor that me and Eric have done, they've created these horrible hands, and sometimes it's hard to, especially when you get down to the like 6 pound or 8 pound line. Your hands just don't want to cooperate. Yeah. But practice.
Cool.
And you know what, Aaron? I'm sorry, Eric, tie it before you get out there. It's so much easier to sit on your couch or sit in your boat or sit in your garage or whatever you're doing and tie your leader knots on at home and ready to go when you get on the water. That way you're not in there, and it just, trust me, time at home is much easier.
Cool. All right.
Okay. I think we've talked about positioning ourselves enough. Unless anybody's on the question, let's talk about some, I'm going to start with these vocab words, and then I'm going to tell you what they mean, Roman. So we got finesse fishing, which I used to talk a lot about during winter, but I haven't been talking about that a lot, and there's a reason behind that. Vertical fishing, which is very popular lately. And we got power fishing. I don't know if I made that turn up. I've heard it before. I've heard people use it. Have you ever used the word power fishing?
I used to be all about the power fishing before I found the Ned rig.
Yeah, well, you're Mr. Finesse, the finesse guy. Yeah, so power fishing.
I'm a day walker. I phase in between the two worlds.
All right. And do you ever go to vertical world? I guess you do with the Ned rig. You can vertically fish that, sure. Okay, so finesse fishing, basically it is slow moving, lightweight gear. That's the basics of finesse. Vertical, basically you're coming up on a structure, a rock pile, a drop off, and you're dropping straight down on it. Power fishing, which is I love to do, is cast and retrieve, big baits, A-rigs. It's cast and retrieve. You're powering that fish in. Power fishing. Let's talk about finesse fishing. Finesse fishing is something. At the beginning of Spotty Bowl, that's all I was doing, Roman. I mean, the winter bite, when did we start that, in January?
Yeah.
It's hard to go back in time and think about the January bite, because I think the winters were like 60-inch, 62.
Yeah.
Now that's like 20 apiece, but back
then, not anybody below 60 is noobs. What's the name? Anybody below us are noobs. Ryan, that's the best team name ever.
Yeah, I love it. It's Adobo's name. Okay, but we've all forgot about finesse fishing. That's gone out the window for most of us, because it's all about the power fish in the summer. We're ripping it. We're ripping lips, man. We're catching fish right now. But during the winter, finesse fishing was, let me show you what I was using. It was this little 1,000 size reel, and here's a drop shot I have tied on there. I was fishing largemouth with this weekend, but it's basically finesse fishing is throwing that thing in, and it's just sitting on the bottom, and it's just twitching. Twitch 3 feet, twitch 3 feet, and you're coming, and you're hoping a spotty sees it and gets interested in it and bites it. That's the same thing as a Ned rig. The Ned rig, right? You're just kind of bouncing that thing around, finessing it.
Yeah.
So that was
catching fish right and left.
That's over. That's old news. We'll talk about that next January, maybe.
What up, Dave Rage in the house? He's here. He made it. Welcome. Woo, bit. Yeah, better late than never. It's all good, dude. We understand people got things to do, so we're glad you made it. Glad you made it.
A popular thing to do right now, because a lot of these guys have figured out where the big guys are, is vertical fishing. My vertical setup, let's see, where is this guy? Is my new favorite reel for vertical fishing, which is the SLX 151. I love this reel for vertical fishing. You're not using a whole lot of line on vertical fishing normally, because you're just in the bays, you're just pulling up to something and basically just dropping it. For me, I'm like I'm pulling up, and I'm almost like bass fishing. I'm flipping it. I'm flipping, letting it hit the bottom. I'm cranking it up, going to the next spot. I'm flipping it, cranking it up. And I like the SLX for that. I had a Trinx. My Trinx broke. One of my Trinxes broke. My own reel broke. It's off to service. Shimano says it's going to take it's been 3 months. And they have no time period on when that thing's going to fix. I guess Shimano is shortage on parts and reels and everything right now. So I bought an SLX to use in the meantime. And I like a shorter rod for vertical fishing, because I'm pitching it. So I have like a 6 foot, what is this, a 6 foot, like a 6'8", I think it is. And I like a short butt end on that, Roman. Is that kind of similar to your vertical setup, so that it's just kind of that flipping motion?
Yeah, I think mine's like a 7 foot rod. Cause that way, mine's like a 7, maybe a 7.5. That way, because I'm not standing my kayak most of the time when I'm doing this, when I'm doing the drop, whatever it's called, just like vertical drops.
Fishing? Yeah.
I'll hold the rod tip over where I want the thing to vertical drop instead of pitching it over. Sometimes I can pitch it, but if I don't pitch it, then I'll just hold the rod tip where I want the lure to sink, and I can hold it out pretty far. I can hold it 7 feet, right?
Let me give you a little hint on that. Okay, so this is actually a big hint. When you're vertical fishing, you don't want to. I personally, some people do, but I personally don't want to drop it straight down. I don't. I want to get that little flip. That way, when it hits the water, it keep your eye on this. When you get to some clear water and you're flipping, let's say you're flipping towards a dock. If you flip it 5 feet versus straight down, it gives it a slight bit more flutter. It's
a different action, yeah. I've noticed that. Like if you flip it out, when it hits the water, it's gonna go instead of going like this, whatever it does, it's gonna hit the water and kind of go at an angle. Yeah, I've seen it do that. So I'll flick it to the backside of a slip.
Yep.
And then I'll try to hit. I'll try not to hit the slip itself, and then when it hits the water, it'll be at the angle, and it'll go under the dock, right? But when I'm at the end of the dock, it's right next to my kayak. I just drop it down. Drop it down. It's right there.
Percentage wise, when you're dropping it straight down, and when you're flipping it, what do you think? Are you paying attention to that?
I would say one drop straight down on each side of the piling, and then the long flip into the back of the dock if there's space. So 2 to 1.
No, I'm saying percentage-wise a hookup. Do you get more hookup dropping it straight down, or do you get more percentage flipping it out 5 or 10 feet? For me,
not enough to notice.
The flipping. Keep an eye on that.
Okay, I will.
So next time you start doing that, notice if you're getting bit on the vertical straight up and down drop, or on your flip, or on a cast. You can still vertically fish somewhat on a cast if you got a long slip and you got to cast 30 feet. You can hit the water, let that thing vertically drop, crank it up on the bottom, open your bail, and then let it drop again. Yeah. So you can do that style too, but keep an eye on that. Let me know, because I think you might have more success if you're flipping versus just dropping.
Yeah, I'll try that. Very cool.
Yeah. So that is what vertical fishing is. Basically, anything you're coming up on and you're dropping down and trying to hit a target. And then you have my favorite, Roman, is power fishing. Fishing.
Before we talk about power fishing, ladies and gentlemen, please do me a favor and hit that like button. I see 36 people in the current viewers count and 21 likes. So if everybody could just take 1 or 2 seconds to exit your chat if you're in the phone or tablet, exit chat, hit that like button, and come right back in the chat and say what's up. BIT capital in the chat. Let us know you did it. Just you don't have to, but anyway, it'd be nice. Go ahead. Power fishing.
Yeah, well, it's one more hint on vertical fishing. So when you have your jig, when you're flipping it, have about 6 feet of line coming out of the tip of your rod. Don't have it like you normally when you cast, you have maybe a 24-inch before you throw it out. Have about 6 feet of line out. Have your clutch open, and then just do a pendulum motion where that bait is swinging, and when it gets to its apex, you're going to let it go and flip. So it takes some practice to get really good, but when you get good at flipping, you'll be able to hit targets like the size of a bowling ball. You'll be able to flip them right in front. You'll be able to put it right next to that outboard motor, in between that you'll see that line coming down to the cleat, the boat, and you're going to be able to put it right next to that. If you can master the technique of that 6 foot long line and that little flip, you'll be able to get in spots that you want to. Versus if you just have like 2 feet hanging down, it's really hard to get the pendulum. So get yourself a long drop before you flip it.
So 6 feet is too specific, I think. I think it has to be the length of the rod tip to your reel, or the point.
That's a good rule of thumb.
The point where you're actually pivoting, right? And most of us hold it by the reel. So your lure should be hanging about to your knuckles. And then that'll give you enough swing that especially on a kayak. If you have too much slack on a kayak, you're gonna hit the water at the lowest part of your pendulum, and it kind of kills your cast. So that's why I'm giving you this extra arm's length, where you can hold it up, and as you're swinging it, it's above the water, and then as the lure travels, I'm gonna go full screen real quick just to show you.
Go for it. Yep.
As the lure travels, and it's gonna, if you just do something static, it's gonna travel in an arch like that, right? Okay, and like upside like a U, right? Well, when it gets to the bottom of the pendulum, what you're going to do is you want to start lowering your rod tip so it swings out straight, kind of like straight, right? It's not going to go like straight, but it's going to go like this, and it's going to go a little bit the radius of your turn is gonna widen, and then that'll help you get under stuff like ropes or like docks even, right? And then if you have the right angle, like Brian was saying, we'll go back to co-host Brian. Boom. If you have the right angle and your lure lands in the water at that angle, then it's very likely that it'll dig in and kind of like continue that trajectory like into under that structure that you're kind of pitching it under, right? Is that what you're going for?
That's what you're going for. Yeah, you're trying to get in these little. Going to largemouth fishing. I'm starting getting largemouth fishing. I'm never gonna leave spotty fishing, but I'm starting to fall in. Like you're trying to find in the toolies, you're trying to find these little holes. So you got to get good at flipping, and you're trying to drop it. You got to drop it in these. Let's say docks. So you got to find these little zones, because a lot of these docks are fished all day, every day, 7 days a week, and you want to find a spot that maybe somebody hasn't flipped in there today. So sometimes those harder spots to flip into, those fish will be in there. So looking hard to get to spots. The easy ones, everybody's fishing those. So get good at flipping if you're fishing vertically. That's my vertical.
Just a quick question for you, Brian. Do you know how to skip a bait?
I do. I do that with a spinning rod. And you're talking about going underneath the dock.
Talking about getting that bait to be like skip, like 3 or 4 or 5 skips, so you can skip it like in the back of a dock. Wham!
Yeah, I can do that with a spinning rod and a cool bait. I can do that.
Dang, I want to know how to do that.
Depends on the lure.
I'm gonna learn how to do that this year, fellas. That's my goal. One of my goals.
Spinning rod. You need a spinning rod. Just do it.
No, with the bait caster.
Oh,
I see people do it. Yeah. I've seen like those Bass Pros do it. They throw like a little. It'll be like a creature bait, like on a jig head, like maybe like a jig head, and they just go like flick, and then it just the thing hits the water and it goes like 6 hops under whatever structure they're pointing it at. It's pretty crazy. Looks
when
cool.
I do it, it's like I'm thinking like when you cast a stone across the water, you kind of do like that side arm and you try to make that thing like flat.
Yep.
My pole is basically making that same motion. I have my spinning and I'm swinging it sideways and I'm just trying to skip it like I'm throwing a rock. But I don't say I do that very often, but I have. Sure.
I'm gonna go out one of these days and just practice doing it. I think definitely wind makes it harder to do. Like you want it like in the early morning when it's nice and flat. There's no wind. That's when you would freaking slide that thing.
I'm always looking. Is it the G Street dock or whatever where it's like all dark and it's all protected, like you can't get in there. And I'm looking in that deep dock and I'm like, man, if I could just it's hard for me because I'm in a boat. If I could just get a bait in there, I know there's a monster lurking in there. So I'm always thinking about that, but I don't want to risk my baits usually. I'm too scared to break off.
Go for it.
I'm afraid.
Throw on the braid.
Hook the big fish. Somehow I'm gonna have to get them out of that
area. Put the 40-pound fluorocarbon, like Aaron was suggesting, 40-pound fluorocarbon or 30-pound fluorocarbon, and just sling that thing in there, dude.
Whip it in there.
Yep.
You know what I'm thinking about doing? I'm thinking about putting my boat on spot lock, and I'm gonna have a float tube attached to the top, and I'm gonna deploy a float tube. I'm gonna jump in and fish that, and then come back to my boat.
Nice.
The secondary option.
Leonard says he practices flipping into his dog's food bowl.
There you go. Nice. I can remember many times sitting on the couch and practicing flipping and just casting and retrieving, just having fun like a fidget spinner, you know. So, all right. So cool. Let's get on to talking about power fishing. Power fishing. What is power fishing? Power fishing. Let's show some power fishing baits. Power fishing to me is you're using a lure that's a cast and retrieve. Let's say an A-rig, crankbait, spinnerbait, cool bait. Cool bait can be used as a finesse one too, but anything that you're casting, hitting the bottom, and a lot of retrieve, and you're just doing that again and again. It's power fishing. You're covering as much water as you can. You're trying to get that cover as much strike zone as you can.
I thought for me power fishing is that, but also like the tackle you're using and like the line is like heavier, right? It's like a lot more.
It kind of goes hand in hand.
For me, power fishing is like a lot more. Tighten your drag as hard as you can, and when that fish bites, you set the hook like it's nobody's business, and you're reeling that thing in as hard as you can, whether it's a 2-pound spotty, a 1-pound spotty, a 15-pound halibut, you're cranking on that thing like nobody. That's what I think about as power fishing. Big baits, big bites. I'm not
sure if I'm using that term right, power fishing. I'm just calling it that because I don't know what else to call this. But so it's cast and retrieve, but I'm gonna call it power fishing. This just because it sounds cool, but. My power fishing A-rig setup. So Mark G was asking me I think he asked everybody, hey, what are you using for your A-rig setup or like a power heavy swim bait setup? I have a few. I use a Lexa 300 65-pound braid, and I have an iRod Genesis, and it's the Bama edition. They made it for heavy swim baits, and they made it for A-rigs, and I use that for my heavier A-rig setup. Now, I also fish, Roman, I usually take 2, and I fish a lightweight A-rig setup.
Cool.
So here's my lightweight. So I've done shows on these with you before where I talk about making a weedless one with no weights. This one just has 1/8-inch weight. This was my freshwater one, so it's got 2 dummies on top. That's right, Roman, freshwater. So it's got 2 dummies on top. I'm only allowed to fish 3. But my lightweight setup, I love this rod, Roman. It's a Phoenix M1 inshore. It's got this long handle.
I like that rod.
Almost every spotty fisherman somehow ends up with one of these.
That's a rod. That's a rod I wanted to recommend to. I forget who was asking about it yesterday. He said he got a new reel.
Oh yeah. The Phoenix M1 inshore. It's got bigger guides.
What is it? Bigger guides. What is it? MH?
They make it in everything. They make it extra heavy, medium heavy. I don't know if they have like a light version of it, but I think it starts at maybe medium or medium heavy.
I think mine's MH.
As long as 711, as short as I think 7.3.
Yeah, mine's 711. Yep.
But I think for the money, I mean, it's actually not very cheap. I think it's $199. But it's a good rod. I fished them for years. They seem to work really well. Phoenix has a pretty good warranty policy on these things. I match it up with a Coastal. It's a 200 size reel, Daiwa Coastal saltwater reel, and this is my lightweight A-rig setup. So Mark, if you're going to fish a lightweight A-rig, this is my recommendation, and I like this pole for all kinds of stuff. I like it for crankbaits. I like it for jerkbaits.
Ooh, Leonard said he got an M1 last week. Nice, dude. Yeah, that's a cool rod. You're gonna love it.
Yeah, and there's my third A-rig rod, believe it or not. I just bought this guy. It was on sale. It's a Dobbins rod. It's a Fury series, and it's made for its fast action swim bait, glide baits, and A-rigs. And my Tranks 200 that's out to service is going to go on this rod, but it's a little less expensive. It's $150. It's untested, but I like the way it feels, and I like the guides. I like the whole setup on this thing. So a Dobbins also makes, if you're looking for a little less expensive, $150 for that guy. I know Dobbins, they make a quality rod, so I'm sure this is going to be a nice rod.
Very cool.
Okay, you know what? Are we running out of time here, Roman? Oh my gosh, I got 5 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to skip the power fishing.
What? You can't skip the power fishing after saying all that.
Well, I'm gonna go into it, but I'm gonna show my tackle too, just because.
All right, let's give them the option. You guys want to hear more about power fishing, or you guys want to go to the tackle box?
We'll do
power
both.
fishing or tackle box. All right, cool.
Let's show power fishing stuff that I'm gonna fish. Okay, so guys, I'm gonna do something a little different. So, Aaron Kruger, you inspired me to show off the gear. You basically showed everybody everything. So I'm going to. This is where all my gear goes. I put it here when I'm fishing spotty bowl. Everything's in here. I'm gonna show you guys everything I use. I'm gonna slide this forward. So I'm gonna leave the camera. You see that?
Yep.
All right, here's my tackle box, guys. Hopefully lighting's good.
On. I put a magic harp sound.
So when I go fishing, I pretty much keep all of my tackle in here. I keep it organized in all these dividers.
Sweet knees, bro.
Thanks. I've been working on them. Let's see if I can flex. Let me get those knees out here. All right. So in tournament fishing, you want to stay organized. So I try to stay as organized as I can.
That's pretty good.
You never know when you break off. When that bite hits, like Muto said, when that bite hits, you want to be ready to go if you break off, because that bite can come and go in pretty quick. So I try to stay pretty organized. Okay, who asked a question about what do I like for a trailer on cool baits? I'm going to answer that right now. So
I think it was Mark or Real Dreamer.
Okay, so the one bait I found, these have been around probably a long time, but I just started fishing them. I know Salty, a lot of these guys that started fishing, is this Divine 6 Sense swim baits. Depending on what size you're throwing, if you're fishing for spotties, you're probably throwing like a 1/2 ounce, maybe a 3/8, maybe a 1/4 ounce in the bays. If you're fishing a little deeper, maybe up to 3/4 ounce. But this guy right here, I think, is a 4-inch Divine swim bait. It's got a nice tapered head, so it matches the, I have one tied up real quick. Show you what it looks like. This is what I fished in the last spotty bowl. So this is my cool baits, 3/8. Am I holding that about right, Roman?
Yeah.
This is my 3/8 cool bait with one of those Divine. I use the 3/8 with a gold blade. And this is the bluegill color. It's like super beat up. This thing caught a lot of fish. It's missing its eyeball, and it's kind of war battered. But That's the swim bait I like right now. If you would have talked to me a few months ago, my favorite is the MCs just because there's so much variety of it. I mean, I carry like every color of these guys, and I think it's the 3.5 inch. My favorite color, I'll show you. Obviously, I've got a ton of them. Is this color right here? It's the for Mission Bay, San Diego Bay. I like this dark green. It's got this little orange spot on it. This color's deadly for me. I think when we did our swim bait science, Roman.
Yeah.
This for me. This was the one that got bit most. So MC swim baits. Okay. Any questions, Roman? I'm gonna start showing some of this gear.
Yeah, we're good so far.
Good so far.
Oh wait.
Okay, so like I said,
question: do you trim the bellies on the?
Do I trim them to match the jig head?
Yeah.
Not normally, but sometimes if I'm at home and I'm setting up the night before and I want to get, make it look extra fancy, I will. But I think that's more for the fishermen than it is for the fish.
Okay, cool.
It looks nice. I try to match my jig head with the swim bait I put on, so it looks nicer that way. But does it affect the fishing? I'm not sure.
Leonard said he's got extra eyes for you if you want one for your bait.
Oh, you want extra eyes?
No, he said he's got some extra ones for you if you want some.
I carry around an entire Cool Baits repair kit for me, so I just got lazy on that one. And you know what? Sometimes it fishes good with eyes, without eyes. I don't know how much of that's more of the fisherman. Fisherman feels more confident when it's like that, but I think the fish will bite it either way. Okay, so you want to dig into some of this, Roman? Oh, yep. I want to point out one thing so if I would have talked to you, you want to go to the restroom real quick, Roman?
No, I'm good. I'm watching you.
Okay.
You're full screen.
So if you would have talked to me like 4 months ago, right? These are all my leader lines. I would have been a diehard Seaguar guy. I've been fishing Seaguar leader, which is this leader for forever, right? And it just happened that this leader right here went on clearance, which is a Yoziri leader. And it went on clearance. It was the first time I tried it. I thought, what the heck? I'm going to give this stuff a shot. And I love this leader, guys. I've been fishing this all throughout Spotty Bowl. Been using a 15-pound Yoziri leader. The clearance was pink. That doesn't seem to make a difference. I got it in clear also. But as far as this stuff breaking off in the pylons or breaking off during rocks, I'm going to recommend this brand. The specific brand leader for me is really, it's not super cheap. I think it's $10 for 30 yards. But if you're looking for a leader that I'm super impressed with, this Yoziri. I'm sure a lot of you guys already knew that, but I just figured it out. And if you're cheap on your leader and you don't want to spend $10 on 30 yards, you can get 250 yards for a Vanish. That's my cheap leader I use. If I want to buy a big spool of it and have a ton of it, I'll use Berkley Vanish. So that's the leader I use. All my boxes, I'll just show you what I got. Okay, so I have some vertical fishing stuff. These are my tube baits. I use those when I'm vertically fishing on something. I use those out in La Jolla too. Those things get bit really good. I'm going to show you guys the whole works here. Oh, my spinnerbait box. I love me a spinnerbait. This is considered a power fishing. And I know Aaron last night said he doesn't use a trailer, and I'm about 50-50 on that. So this is the last one I fished. This is probably my favorite one. Let me break this out. So these are all my spinner baits that I use, and this is the one that was been catching me fish. It's got I used a trailer. It's got a single willow blade, a Colorado blade with a white skirt. This guy right here was getting bit. It's a ½ ounce weight. I think this is actually a Z-Man one too. So it's that spinner baits. Don't give up on these guys. I think these guys, if you're like Aaron said, if you're targeting a big fish, I don't get a lot of small fish on this. Like you're not going to go out there and catch 30 fish on a spinnerbait all day long. But when you do catch a spinnerbait fish, it's usually a big one. It's usually a 12 inch, 13 inch, 14 inch fish on the spinnerbaits. So I like Aaron's theory of going out there, catching a fish on your confidence bait with this cool bait, the Ned rig, whatever it is. And then if you've caught like 3 10-inch fish, maybe try to, you're still catching fish, but if you want to try to get a big one, try something else. Try the spinnerbait. It definitely, I think, gets big fish. Then I have 2 boxes of cool baits, my larger size, my smaller size. Everybody's got this box room and the terminal tackle, all your hooks, stuff like that.
I have a question for you, Brian. I'm gonna actually leave you full screen. Do you have a separate container where you keep baits that have already been used?
So all the stuff that's brand new, like see, I've never used this SP Minnow.
Right.
I usually keep it in the package until I use it.
Right. Say you
And
use.
then
Okay, go ahead.
once I use it, and then I'll put it in the storage container. So this case right here, like if I reach in here, this is all my brand new stuff I haven't used. Here's some of those things Eric was talking about. These are the hyperelastic dart spins.
Yep.
I haven't used these particular ones yet, so I keep them in the case. I keep them in this bag right here. So hey, if something's not working, I look in that bag of the stuff I haven't tried, and I'll use it, and then I'll put it in the case, and I'll throw the packaging away. There's one of my favorites.
So after you're done with that bait, with that lure, do you put it back into with the rest of your lures that have been used? Do you rinse it?
Yeah.
What I'm trying to get at is, do you rinse it? I guess.
I'll show you what happens if you don't rinse it. You should rinse them, especially spinner baits, anything like that. If you don't rinse them, like I got lazy on this and did not rinse it when I got home and just threw it in the box, and this is what happens. Salt water is not your friend.
Yeah.
And you could repair this. You could put a new blade on it, but I mean, look at this. See, I got lazy on this thing.
Yeah, it's done.
Didn't rinse it, and I could sit there and take my Mr. Clean or take some kind of Brasso cleaner or something like that. I mean, you can clean these things up, but it's much easier, guys, when you get home to just rinse your baits. But like this one wasn't catching fish, so I just threw it in the package and forgot about it, and that's what they look like next time you go to use it. So yeah, rinse them, especially those type of baits.
Hey Oscar, if you don't, if thanks for watching, dude. Sorry you ran out of battery. We'll see you next Wednesday. If I don't live stream fishing content on the regular channel this weekend.
I carry a jerkbait box when I got to La Jolla, or if I see, like Eric said, like a boiling thing of fish. Hopefully you have one of these guys tied on. I got the same one everybody has. I got the Shimano. Is it the 120 size jerkbait? And also I got a stick bait of that, and I'll throw that out on boiling fish. Oh, crankbait box. You have one of these?
I don't have a crankbait box. I do have a crankbait. I do have a crankbait box actually.
I think I've showed this box before. Daiwa makes it, but it's killer for crankbaits because it's just the hooks hold it here. So they all have their own little spots, but the hook will hold it in place. So it keeps them from getting scratched up, sliding around. And they're it's made for crankbaits or jerkbaits or whatever will fit in there. But it's a cool way to store them. You can visually see them all. There's my lipless crankbait. I'm trying to work on getting good at that. But have a selection of different depths of crankbaits. These are all the crankbaits I sell, or don't sell, that I use. So that's that.
Very cool.
I know this is Jesse's like go-to, which is the Demiki axe blades. I consider that a power fishing. It's kind of like a spinnerbait to me. But I do fish those occasionally. I'm not very good at them, to be honest with you. I don't catch a lot of fish on them. I need to practice those a little more, but those will produce a lot of big fish. And I guess to wrap it up, does anybody have any questions, or you want to see some more gear?
Questions, ladies and gentlemen of the stream?
I have. Let's see what else. Oh, big swim baits. So Aaron was talking about big swim baits. I do carry these guys. I carry the Vejos. I carry some big swim baits just in case there's that day where the big guys are biting these. Occasionally I'll throw them out. I don't have a lot of confidence. I wish I had the confidence he had in these guys, but I'm just
what's that big one? No, what's the other one?
This guy?
Yeah.
A guy gave this to me. I was talking to him about cool baits, and I gave him a cool bait, and he's like, "Oh, I make baits too." And he's like, "Here, you can have this. This is a calico killer." But I love it because it's like grumpy.
Yeah, that's cool.
I've never fished it, but a guy gave it to me. I'm saving this for when the calico bites on. I'm going to use that guy.
That's very nice.
Yeah, he actually gave me that, and I wish I knew his name and the company's name that makes these. If you guys know, put it in chat. But I'm not sure. I don't remember his name. Oh, I carry a box of irons. I don't fish them in the bay, but anytime I go out to La Jolla, I want to be ready with a box of irons. So these are all my irons. I just got the standard tatties. So I carry a box of irons with me all the time.
That's funny.
And of course, all my scents. No questions, Roman?
Yeah, just one question. Eric wants to know when you're gonna put up his new mailbox.
Eric, okay, the mailbox, dude, it's looking pretty good inside my house. Like I'm enjoying looking at it inside my house. So I think until I get like the proper like landscaping done to like really make it shine, so it's like there's like fresh landscaping around it, a beautiful post. I think I'm just gonna continue to stare at it in my living room for a little while. I love that thing.
Zach wants to know, do your baits ever get too old to use?
Okay, well, I did an episode for swim baits, mainly like the cool baits and that type of stuff. I'll fish those till I lose them. You can sharpen the hooks; they'll last basically till you lose them. Those type of baits.
Yeah.
Crankbaits, same thing. I'll fish those till I lose them. To me, it doesn't matter if they look beat up. Like if you have a crankbait that's paint's chipped, eyeballs missing, it's scratched up, it still has the same flutter. It may not look good in your eye, but in that fish's eye, I don't think it makes a difference. So I fish them till I lose them, basically. I might replace hooks on crankbaits.
All right, let's go back to double screen or split screen. Good.
Good.
I'll do some commercial. I'll talk to them. I'll talk to you guys for a second while Brian cleans up the deck. They're saying that you got the second boat so you can tow your fishing warehouse.
That's like just the boat gear I keep in my boat. I have so much gear that is like not in a boat. It's ridiculous. I don't know how it accumulated.
What box do you use for terminal tackle to ensure everything stays separated?
Okay, that's great. I got 2 boxes I use. I didn't get to that. Okay, so I have a specific box that I use for just weights, which is a smaller box, and this carries like my drop shot weights, some of my bullet weights, and I like to have like it separated into these little tiny compartments. I don't want to open it because it'll probably spill everywhere, but
yeah, it looks good.
This is my weight box. It's little, it's organized. It's got all my split shots, my drop shot stuff in it, and then for my bigger weights, similar style box. It has like a big section on the side for all my hooks. And then it has these sections. That's up. I'm gonna keep it closed.
Yeah.
It has these sections on the side for my bigger weights, my bigger drop shot weights, my 1 ounce weights. So I have two different boxes I use all my terminal tackle on.
Very cool. We got Soldier of Science. Welcome to the show, dude. Thanks for coming. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Let's see. That is our question. Oh yeah. Saltwater Slayer says, question, how to unsnag a lure. I lose a lot of lures.
All right, this is the key. So when you cast that thing in, you've casted it at, let's just say this angle, right? And that thing's snagged up. Your first thing you're going to do is try to jerk that thing off the bottom, right? It's not coming off. You've got to reposition yourself. So think about hitting it from a sideways angle. That doesn't work. You want to go on the opposite side of the direction it got snagged. So you got to work your kayak, you got to work your boat. If you're on shore, it may be a little tougher. You got to work all the angles. And as you're working around it, just keep pulling it at different angles.
Yeah.
Especially with the A-rig, because the A-rig seems to get jammed up a lot, and that's an expensive one, so you don't want to just break it off.
I wouldn't fish from shore.
Working angles. Yeah.
Soldier of Science is from the 805. Shore? Cool. That's from like Ventura County. Cool, dude.
No, you can save a lot. And sometimes, too, if you get right on top of it, like it's right underneath you, you can just pop it off.
Very cool. All right, coming back.
If nothing works, then you just kind of grab that line and just slowly pull, and hopefully it'll come off. It's either gonna break or come off.
Since you're doing a boat tour, Eric wants to know where the chum box is.
No live bait for me, no chum. That was a 1-night deal, Eric, and that'll probably be the last time I do that.
Oh, what's up, Roy?
Unless we do Species Challenge, if we ever do Species Challenge. Or at the end of summer, last year, we went out and we tried to get sharks and stingrays and stuff like that.
That was crazy.
We went out as a group last year to South Bay, and we all took cut bait. We took squid, we took mackerel, we took whatever we got out there, and we tried to go stingray hunting and shovel nose hunting.
I caught a spotty who ate my Ned rig that had squid on it. And he also ate my drop shot. That same spotty was hooked twice.
What?
Yeah, on that outing. Crazy, right?
That is
hungry
crazy.
little guy.
But we were trying to catch smoothhound, leopard sharks, so you can mainly get those with cut bait or live bait. So I like it when we do that. But normally I don't fish with any bait.
Very cool. Soldier of Science. Yeah, we do. A lot of us do hoop netting when it's in season. I have a couple of videos up there. I have some videos up of how to set up if you're interested. Let me see.
Yeah, and I know Roman. I didn't get too much into. I wanted to talk more about. We ran out of time, basically, guys. I wanted to talk more about my tackle and what rod I use and what gear I use, and we might get into that on another show. But I basically wanted to show the tackle, and next time I'm gonna show like this is my crankbait, this is my setup. These are the techniques I use for crankbait fishing for spotties. Roman, I know you have already. If you guys want to do some homework on that, on those subjects, Roman's got a ton of videos, basically all the spotty lures.
Yeah.
You got a crankbait, drop shot, right?
Yeah, I have like my favorite 5 baits. I have you know, we had some stuff ready to show you guys, but I think yeah, just you could probably do like I'll put some links in the chat so you guys have them, and you guys can check those out at your leisure. Let's see. I like my favorite, like my best 5 baits video.
BDGQ has a question. Do I fish skirted jigs? Yes, I do. Let me show you what I got. Let me see if I can find them in here. I don't fish them very often, but I have a Warbaits weedless one that I fish. And it's like a bigger 3/4 ounce one. So when I go into deeper water, I'll fish this guy. It's probably the one that you guys most commonly see, which is like it's a skirt. It's got the weedless guard. It's got the XL hook. I'll rig this up with a Vallejo or something bigger. But yeah, these do get bit. I like these because I think they give a lot of action on a slow retrieve. And also if you can actually fish these things vertically, on the vertical, I think they get bit on the vertical too. So yeah, I do fish those.
Very cool. Cool. Question for Brian: do you fish? Oh, you got that one. Skirted jigs. Okay. All right. I'm gonna run through the last couple of questions that come up. Let's see.
I love Muto's
question. Do you ever fish B52?
You know, as soon as Dan Hernandez takes me out fishing and teaches me how to catch a fish on one, I'd love to. Actually, a long time ago, just like all you guys, I used to wake up in the morning and watch KSUI or whatever that was, and watch Dan Hernandez all morning, sitting by the TV eating cereal, watching Dan Hernandez, and I did. He convinced me to go out and buy a B52, and I think on one of the charter boats I actually caught fish on that. So I have fished B52. I don't have it anymore. I actually have a Dan Hernandez signature rod.
Oh dang!
I bought from him at the Fred Hall show. I still have, and I just have it kind of off to the side. But
I should have a signature rod, dude. We should have an MMFC signature rod.
Is it B52? Is that his signature lure, or does he just like it? I don't know.
I don't know. I think he might. That's a good question. He might.
I don't know.
Is he the manufacturer? Is he the maker?
It's the Bucktail B52, I think is what they call that. Yeah.
Cool. There we go. Split screen. All right. So
at the end of the show, if you're new to the show, I always wrap it up with a movie review.
I'll let you get set up.
Go ahead.
I'll let Brian get set up for his movie recommendation of the week. I saw somebody mention Coach. I didn't see him type anything in here. Oh, there it is. Coach in the house. Oh, Bucktail is a classic lure. Very cool, Coach. I know we used to do fishing conditions and stuff with you on Mondays. Would you be open to like a short segment on Wednesdays? And then if so, let's talk about it. And we'll just have to keep it short, but I want to see if we still get you in here. That'd be kind of fun.
I think, Roman, on a Wednesday show, we might be pushing this thing to an hour and a half. It's gonna be hard to fit everything I want to talk about in an hour. Like
That's true.
I feel like I only touched the iceberg. I wanted to do a lot more with my tackle.
Stop touching the iceberg, bro.
The tip of the iceberg. Where was that? What you touched it? I didn't get to talk about it though. I really wanted to answer a lot of questions. I'm gonna save some more of those questions. Maybe I'll be a little more prepared and talk a little faster next time. So.
Oh, that's good. That makes sense.
I think we may be stretching it a little bit. All right, so movie review time. So if you're new, me and Roman we like to watch movies. We watch 80s movies. We grew up with the 80s and 90s, so we like to review these movies. Every week I recommend a movie. This week I'm recommending a movie because I'm actually going to Disneyland and Magic Mountain this weekend. So it sparked my memory of this movie and this dad who basically hauls us, the road trip across the country. We're gonna go to Wally World.
Oh yeah.
And it's I think this is early 80s, stars Chevy Chase. If you don't know who Chevy Chase is, he was a star in the 80s that was from Saturday Night Live. And this generation probably doesn't even know who that is, but this is a classic movie when it came out about a dad trying to live up to being a great dad and taking his family across the country on a road trip and ending up at Wally World, which is like the equivalent of Disneyland. And there's a lot of shenanigans that happen in between. If you haven't seen this movie, I recommend it. It is Vacation, starring Chevy Chase, Believe it or not, I think there's 4 parts to this. This is a good one, but Christmas Vacation, if you haven't seen that, that's the best Christmas movie of all time.
So is this the original one?
From this.
This
is the original one. And like I said, it's a funny journey across the country with his family to try to get to Wally World, and there's a big surprise when he gets there. But Chevy Chase, I'm gonna give this guy 3.5 out of 5 max. It's a great movie. It's pretty kid appropriate. It's rated R. It's got some language and some few scenes in it. So maybe your older teenagers are good for this movie, not the little kids. But
that's funny.
Great movie. I think it's hilarious. It holds up. A lot of 80 movies don't hold. Next movie. I know everybody's seen this. If you haven't seen this, shame on you. This movie came out when I was in, I think, high school, so it would have been a 90s movie maybe. But it has a kid that basically is in high school and he decides he's going to take a day off. He's a popular kid in high school. There's a famous scene where the teacher's calling roll and he's not in class and the teacher has a specific monotone voice and all you hear is Bueller. And I can't go a year out of my life without somebody saying that. Like if there's a dead silent room, somebody says Bueller, just because it's such a funny scene in this movie. It's about a kid that basically stays home sick. His parents think he's sick, but he sneaks out and does a bunch of shenanigans. And Principal Rooney tries to track him down, which turns into a hilarious movie. And that is Ferris Bueller's Day Off. If you haven't seen this, please spend the hour and a half. Have you seen this, Roman?
Yeah, I have. Okay.
It's funny. It holds up pretty good. Like I said, some of these 80s movies don't hold up anymore, but I think it's funny. It's funny to show the kids too. It's definitely a family-friendly movie.
Jesse says that's one of the first.
Day Off.
Jesse says that's the first movie you've recommended that he's actually seen.
All right, Jesse, I'm getting there. Sooner or later, yeah. So one of my favorite scenes of this is when the valet parker takes their car and they kick in that Star Wars music, and you see those valet parkers' face jump in that car over the highway. I love that scene. It's hilarious to me. So 4 out of 5 max, great comedy. Definitely going to recommend that. Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Very cool. All right, going back to main screen. Switch back out to. Whoa, that was cool. All right, so Zach said he's good with a 3-hour show.
Yeah.
Would you guys be okay with the longer show Wednesdays? And we're only doing 1 day a week. I know you guys are gonna say yes, but like, how much is too much? You know?
Yeah, I think honestly, I think it's hard for me to just fit it in an hour. We're gonna try to probably stick to that hour, but prepare for an hour and a half, guys. If we have a topic and a lot of questions, and we spend a lot of time at the beginning with shout outs and stuff. So it's hard for me to stick within 1 hour. I had a lot more to talk about, but so it may turn into an hour and a half. It may stick to an hour. We'll see how it goes.
Okay, cool. So next week we'll plan for an hour and a half. Okay.
Yep.
Zach's like 5 hours. Captain Dan's like a 3-hour tour.
I probably could talk for 3 hours about fishing. I love fishing that much, guys. I could literally sit here and talk fishing with you guys all night.
That's so
funny.
I
don't want to feel like I'm keeping everybody from their dinners and everybody. So the 7 to 8 seems like a good time window.
Yeah, but they can eat while they watch. We can't, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So we'll just have early dinner.
3 hours.
Yeah.
If you want to watch a 3-hour show, go back to the Christmas show in December. That was like that was our
fun.
Marathon.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll try an hour and a half. Okay, if that's not enough, then we'll maybe move to a 2-hour show. But like, let's shoot for an hour and a half, and if we can go further, if we go do more, we can. But again, we're only doing 1 day a week now, so we could probably swing that.
Yeah, and I definitely want Coach to be involved too on Wednesday show. If we're only doing 1 day a week, I definitely want. I mean, he's more informative than me. He knows more fishing than I would ever know. So having him is a great asset. So Coach, definitely, if you have time on Wednesday night, we'd love to get you on for a segment.
And you guys know I don't like to push it too much with asking for subscriptions and that for you to subscribe to the channel and stuff and share it with your friends. I do it every once in a while, maybe once or twice in a show. But I'm gonna start pushing a little bit harder, guys, because if you want this channel to grow and really like be successful, and we can maybe go back to more than one time a day, more than one time a week, we need the subscriber count to go up. So we actually gained a subscriber today. It looks like 385. So somebody in the chat subscribed. I'm not sure who it was. Maybe it was Fatty Fisher, possibly. Anyway, whoever subscribed today, thank you for subscribing. And do me a favor, guys. If you guys enjoy the show, you guys think it's worth watching, please share it with your fishing friends. I know some of you guys, some of your fishing friends might have been when you joined the club and found like the MMFC guys. Those are your fishing friends now. But if you have any friends that are interested, that are outside of MMFC, that don't know about us yet, and they're talking about maybe trying to get into fishing, bring them over, dude. Oh, Submission Fishing Code just subscribed. There we go. Boom.
Oh. Yeah, and you know what, guys? I never see any comments. Me and Roman are always looking for the comments on there. If you guys that aren't watching this live or watching it,
or
however you're watching it, please leave some comments, some questions, whatever you would like to hear about in the show. That would help us out. And I think a comment is probably just as on the YouTube algorithm is almost as good as a like. So comments to help us out too, as far as expanding this channel. And plus, a lot of people will click on something and they want to just go right to the comments to see what it's about. So if you guys would start commenting on the show, that'd be great.
Cool. Zach, we have the stickers. They're huge.
Wow.
Yeah, I can get these. We're gonna get more. Vanity Crooks in the house. What up? Thanks for the subscribing to the channel. See, that's the thing. I don't ask because I feel weird asking, but I think I have to ask, guys. So going forward, I'm probably gonna ask 3 times per show, at the beginning, at the middle, and at the end. And I apologize ahead of time if it bothers you, but we got to make this, we got to grow. It's just a little friendly reminder to subscribe if you haven't already. Cool.
Yeah,
all right.
I mean, Roman puts in all this hard work, guys. Let's put in the likes. Let's get some subscriptions going there. Let's make this hard work pay off for Roman.
MMFC cookbook. I like that idea, Arnie. We can also make a favorite recipe.
Another person I would love to have on the show more is Captain Dan. Captain Dan is a very interesting guy to me, and he knows a lot about everything. So, very cool. Captain Dan, if you're out there, if you can come on Wednesday, that'd be great too.
Very cool. Oh yeah, we're gonna do Captain Dan. We're gonna do either a Monday or a Tuesday episode when he gets back.
That'd be awesome.
Of like cooking stuff. So like the basics for everything you need to get started with like your cooking fish and stuff. So we're gonna go get you like primed up.
Well, Roman, I got one more announcement. There's no Spotty Bowl this weekend, guys. So get out there and work on your techniques, work on your pre-fish. We're fishing the next Spotty Bowl will be not this weekend, but the next weekend it'll be in Mission Bay. So get out there in Mission Bay. I'm not gonna be fishing this weekend, but if you guys are out there, get out there in Mission Bay, cast out, snag some grass, catch some bass. I'll see you guys next Wednesday. I'm out.
Woo. Taking Brian out with the eruption of the live studio audience. Round of applause. Woo! Shout out. Woo! There's some clapping hands in the chat for Brian. Thanks again, Brian, for putting together such a fun show and for showing us all of the secret baits in the Brian mobile, not mobile. In the Brian, what is it called? Nitro burning? No, yours not. Mine's nitro burning.
Baits boat, I guess.
Yeah, right. We get to see the secret baits that it's not really secret, I guess, really. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the show. Just some quick shout outs. I'm going from the bottom to the top. So Salty Dangler, Zach, Mr. Doug Rubin, Sueño in the house, Dario in the house. Congratulations again, Dario. Hope everything is well with you and the new baby. Dave Rage, Leonard, Arnie in the house. Thanks again, Arnie, for giving us a total of. We need 5 more spots to get 2 tables at the CCA banquet. We got Coach Wolf in the house. Roman, if you need me, just text me or send me. All right, perfect. Next Wednesday, Coach, you're in. Muto, thanks again. Submission Fishing Co. Go check out his channel, ladies and gentlemen. He's putting out fishing content as well. Mark G, Eric, the Judge Lehman. Thanks again, Eric. And yes, we are friends, sir. We are friends. Zach Riggs in the house. Thanks again, Zach, for joining us today and putting up such good questions in the chat and your funny jokes. Always appreciated. Captain Dan, thanks again for hanging out. Shout out all the way to Colorado. Dan, he's probably working on a race. Very cool. Who else do I got? Who else do I have in here? Soldier of Science. Jesse in the house. Thanks again for stopping by again. Jesse Cast Queen. I thought I saw Aaron in here earlier. Stingray. What else? Dave Rage. BDG. I got Leonard, right? In case I didn't get Leonard again. Woo! Hey Leonard, I'll play Warzone in a little bit. See you over there. All right, guys. Have a good night. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. I might stream Friday or Saturday. If I fish from the kayak, I might do the 360 stream again. So we'll try that again. I think the last time I did it, I had the resolution too high and the frame rate was too high. So that was why the picture quality was a little bit pixelated. So I figured it out. I'm gonna do 30 frames a second and then 1080, so it's not so intensive on the bandwidth, and it should look clearer. So anyways, 360, you're able to get on the kayak and look completely around while I'm fishing, and it's kind of fun. Okay, so that'll probably be either on Friday or maybe Saturday. Okay, so that's what we're doing then. Otherwise, thanks for hanging out with me today and with Brian. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. I'll see you guys next Wednesday. All right, good night. Okay, let's see if I can finish this here. All right, there it goes.